Hey, y'all. It is your girl, KB, coming at you with another Love and Marriage Huntsville review. This is season 9, episode 9, Open House Closed Mouths. And y'all, when I say I just did at least like 5 to 7 minutes of review, but my little space heater was on in the background, and I know that little humming had to be annoying, so I said, let me just start over from the top. We start with Ken and Trisha. She's talking about how she been doing engineering for almost 20 years, but now she wants to get into the fitness business. She started it kind of during the pandemic. She loves it. She loves being able to interact and make people feel good about themselves. I said, yeah, it's such a difference from engineering. So if you are a people person, the sciences can be a bit like, because I know with myself, I have a degree in epidemiology, and it's very science-based, just kind of in these programmings, in these things, just crunching numbers and stuff like that. And it gets kind of boring, so I usually offset it with some clinical research things and just kind of bounce back and forth every few years to see how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? But yes, she wants to be a people person, being in the gym, helping people get their fitness goals. So they end up talking about the party. She talks about how the kids are over their daddy. He's like, yeah, because you saw how Zaria ran in the house. She was like, yeah, and I saw how Xavier, I heard he was out there giving him the business. I said, yes, I could tell that little girl ran in the house because the way he grabbed her face to give her a kiss, and she was like, literally like, ugh. You know what I mean? She was literally treating her daddy like to where my hug in it. That'll never not be funny. She was like, ooh, and she never like leaned in for a hug. Like it very much stayed right here. She let him kiss her and then she just walked on off. I was just like, yikes. But she's like, yeah. And she told me the next day that she's not going to call him dad anymore. He's going to be him or Marquez. I said, good grief. The kids are very much over him. They also mentioned how he gets there. He came on bad energy, how he walking around acting like this house. He making everybody take a shot and taking a toast to the men opposed to the kids when this is their graduation party. So, yeah, they annoyed with him. But they move on to themselves. Hey, are you ready to get married again? She pauses, eventually. And he knows that it's just her being nervous about getting married again and not necessarily being with him. And I think so too. She seems like she's into them. That's the person that she wants to be with. But yeah, clearly, as long as it's taking her to get out of this marriage, you can't expect her to be willing to jump into another one. Like, if it took her 5 years to get out of that one, you're going to have to give her another year and a half to get over it and really be wanting to get married. So that's that. But he says, okay, we're going to go about this the right way this time. We're going to go to counseling. We are going to go to church and stuff. And she said she's going to take counseling seriously because she noticed she has been angry because people will say something as simple as like, why you say angry? She's like, why you wearing that shirt? Just popping off at people just like, girl, what's wrong with you? So she's acknowledging it. Next, we see Reese Luther King goes to see Martell to plead for his secrets, to say secrets, He's so funny with this meeting because it's very much giving, hey, I'm on your side. Don't tell my secrets, but you can stand to be a little nicer, okay? Let me tell you what I see, right? He lets him know that he feels like Martell never got over the Scope fallout. However that came to be, that Scott Holt's Scope company ended up being solely Marceau's and he had to leave the company, Martell. Whatever happened, he feels like he has to feel a way about that because apparently Marceau is flourishing with Scope. And you see Scope on the side of these buildings and you gotta feel a way because that's your baby too. So you seeing your baby flourishing with somebody else, like, you gotta feel a way. I said, feel like a double entendre. You know what I mean? So then he talks about, because Martell is just still like, no, it ain't nothing like that. And then this is when Reese puts on the Luther King for real. It was one question, who hurt you the most, and you picked my soul. Martella's just talking about, oh, well, I don't really fall out with people or make enemies or anything like that. He's like, oh, okay, you infallible, like Mel, the deity. And he tells him about how Mel came and attacked him. I said, attacked you? You should feel shame for getting a DUI. That's not attacking you. That's stating the obvious. You're just acting like nothing happened, like people had the information wrong. Like you were drunk driving in the middle of the day. In hours where you should have had your butt sitting down somewhere, you drunk driving at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. What's wrong with you? Well, they said the thing was at 11, but that might have been when they did the paperwork. But that means you out there driving drunk at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Kimmy woke up and went to the office. But they do be having them little nasty overnight parties because that girl that Martell and Coleslaw interviewed, they claim that it was them office parties, but somebody else said that too. Was it Ariane? Was it Coleslaw? Them office parties. They make sure that they always have office buildings. That's they be building and stuff, so you always got the space to be their office. And if they need a little after hour spot, take the ladies over here. We taking them over here to the office. Baby, I gotta get a little work done. Boy, I bust your head. I bust your head. The nerve of these men. And I'm like, do they still do that? Because Kimmy immediately was in the office. Anywho, where we at? I'm sure Mel was looking at this thing cackling because Reese was doing everything that she said he'd be doing. He out here trying to act all holier than thou with the long, breathy, airy speeches on how people need to act according to themselves and what type of caliber they should be. But you got a DUI. You should be ashamed of that, sir. You should be ashamed of a DUI. And also, we just see him pleading for his life so that Martell does not tell his secrets. Hey, you see I'm with you, right? I'm here filming with you. I'm telling you face to face how I feel, so don't tell my secrets, okay? Keep my secrets in the secret vault, okay? But you could stand up, be a little nicer to Tisha, but keep my secrets, okay? We ain't gotta beef. I said, we see you, Reese. We see you. Next, we see Trisha goes to see Kimmy. Kimmy is giving her advice on leaving her 9 to 5 for entrepreneurship. Because, Kimmy left nursing during the pandemic because, Reese had been trying to get her to leave nursing for forever and do real estate. I think it's real estate or something of the sort. Yeah, because she's going to show her some property. So as she's telling her about the gyms and everything, she's like, yep, I want to own gyms. I want to do protein powders. I want to train, all of that. So she's like, okay, well, I can show you some property. So she was like, are you bougie? Are you bougie? Do you need high end? She's like, yeah, kind of, sort of. So she's like, okay, let me cross that one off the list. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of property she showed her that could possibly be her gym. So she, like I said, she asked her, like, do you got enough clientele to just leave engineering? That's what I said. Engineering for fitness. I said, can you bring it in the door like that where he could like solely take over for a bit? Okay. I ain't mad at it, okay? I guess so. He be taking y'all on trips and stuff. Y'all got excess, so he can hold it down for a little bit. So this is her redefining herself. I can appreciate it because Trish, people going 20 years working in the same business, that just ain't even logical no more these days. People have so many options and it's just so many things to learn and do. So I can understand that. She probably got good pension, retirement. We don't know. How old is Trisha? I don't know, but she probably got good money sitting around because she got kids taking care of everything. And do your thing, Wody. Do your thing. Redefine yourself after this divorce, okay? But now to the mess, okay? Mel and this lipstick combo. They talk about that, and Kimmy feels away because she's just like, yeah, I don't understand why she would be bringing that up, taking it around town. Like, that's just something to say. She's like, yeah, I ain't hear nothing about him and the lipstick. She was like, yeah, that's her and her circles. That's the male sites and blogs. I said probably so because she was doing a lot with that one. Then Trisha brings up the fact that Fletcher was the one that put her and Martell together. That Fletcher was at the gym and told Martell he needed to come up here. Yeah, this girl Trisha, she cute. You need to get down on her. Kimmy is like, every time I talk to this girl, we find out more and more of this story. We get deeper and deeper into this story. Like, what is going on? I said, no, right? This is crazy. So we see Martell has a therapist over, y'all. You know, at least once a season, he brings a therapist over. He brings the cameras into the session to let us know that he is working on himself. And what this means for him is that he can acknowledge that there is a problem, but he's still working on it, you know, so he's not, you know, completely healed to where he's just gonna stop what the problem is just yet, okay? He's sitting here talking to the therapist about how he needs to develop himself. I say, yeah, baby, because you still ain't got a builder's license all these years later. And he's feeling the shame of that because I'm sure people in his comments like, you don't have a builder's license, you don't have a builder's license, you don't have a builder's license. The millimeters are crazy. And Martell is just somebody to, you don't have a business license. Yes, you should be made fun of that because the fact that it's been all of these years and you are still having to rely on other people to get this type of business done when you've worked into it such a long time, it just shows you that Mel carried you on her back. Okay, she carried you on her bike. Okay, so yes, it's a mess. He should feel bad about himself. But he's saying that in order to develop himself as the man that he needs to be, he needs to spend time away from his children. And then she's like, now why is that? And he immediately admits, like, you know what? You're right. Because that's an excuse. And I can be up at night trying to develop myself doing this or taking these tests. I don't have to spend time away from my kids. I said, especially because you 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Like, excuse me? You get it what you can get done on those 2 weeks off, and then while they're there, like you said, you can be up late or study it. When they doing their homework, you doing your homework, okay? You don't have to cut off your overtime from your children. Y'all just all sit around and do your homework together. He just be making excuses, but at least he admitted it. And then she was like, okay, what else you need to work on? He was like, nothing. She was like, I said, he was like, okay. When stuff come up, I'll let you know. Next we see he has his open house, y'all. Looks like, you know, they had their little open house from 4 to 5:30, you know, and then we gonna turn up from 5 to 6 type deal. That's what it was given. It looked like the open house was, you know, over, but not quite over. But it was just them there because they was turning up and they was having their little drinks as well. So, of course, everybody's there except for Marceau and Tisha. He's like, they beefing like Ken and Marquez. And then they separate. The girls are inside, the guys are outside. So they're talking about Ken and Marquez, and Ken is just like, I don't understand, dude. He don't be hanging out with his kids. He's not even trying to be around his kids. And also at the beginning of the episode, when him and Trisha were talking, they mentioned that he didn't even try to see the kids the rest of that weekend. He just came to their barbecue where they were filming, and that's it. He didn't try to see the kids after that. So yeah, Ken is just like, man, I've been telling him he needs to come see the kids. Like, even if he can't do nothing, take them nowhere, he can come by the house and hang with the kids. If he don't want me being there, I'll even get up and go to the gym because you need to be spending time with your kids. So if I need to get up and go so you can see your kids, I will do that so you can see your kids. Because clearly I got to raise you just like I got to raise your kids. Yeah. And he's just like, I mean, he's just not a man. I ain't trying to down him, but he ain't a man. I said, huh? Not a grown one. Not a grown one. Can't raise a man. He's already grown. What you gonna do? You wonder why he acts like a boy. 'Cause he wasn't raised right before you. Come on, Memphis sister K. Michelle. Come on. She went to the same high school as me, too. Hell to Overton High. Y'all, I love me some K. Michelle. Anywho, Martell is in his confessional saying that he feels like Ken needs to take a step back from being with Trisha because he feels like he is forcing the divorce. I said, not that you see yourself in Marquez and you want a little sympathy for him. That's what it's given, right? Because how is she forcing a divorce to somebody that she only been with for 2 years and they've been separated for 4? Come on now. But anyway, that's how he feels. He feels like the Ken needs to take a step back to make sure that Trisha wants to get the divorce. Now, I can agree with that part, but I feel like there's no way she can go back to that nigga not being somebody that can provide for her and her family after being with somebody like Ken that's taking them on trips and got a spare car for the son to drive around and stuff. Like, she don't want no little puppy. She want a big dog. Okay? I ain't mad at that. The ladies are inside talking about the graduation party. Trish was like, it was a disaster. They're like, it wasn't a disaster, but I mean, it had a moment, girl. It had a moment. They were like, yeah, your son had to wrangle in his daddy and check on his daddy and make sure his daddy was cool and, you know. She admits that she has not filed the papers yet. So everybody's looking at her crazy like, I thought you said you did all that. She was like, no, I had them notarized and signed, but I haven't filed them yet, and he hasn't signed them yet either. Girl, what? So then, you know, to divert the attention, forget about my divorce paper. Fletcher is the one that hooked me and Martell up. Get him. And Nell is like, excuse me? I'll be right back. Nell goes outside. She's like, Fletcher, you're needed on the inside because apparently you the one that hooked Martell and Trisha up. So yeah, you needed on the inside. And all the men like, ooh, so they follow on inside too. She like, I didn't tell all of y'all to come in, but everybody coming on in too, of course, because they got to get to the bottom of this, because now this is making Chris look flawed, and it's looking like you a part of the whole little cheating clan too, because why is you covering up mess? You ain't had no reason to lie. They flashed right back to the bowling alley scene where Chris was asking Martell how he met Trisha. Why you putting on? You could have just sat there and ate your food. But you putting on like you don't know how they met when you the one that hooked them up. So now you looking flawed too. Nell, put a tracker on him, sis. Put a tracker on this car. Okay, but yes, y'all, what a hot mess, okay? Anything happened after that? That's really all it was them trying to go in on Fletch, trying to see what's going on. And didn't Martell and Ken have on the same shirt? That cracked me up, seeing them in the same shirt. I said, not samesies. Oh man, y'all, but that's it. The new episode coming on tonight, so I guess I'll be trying to review that by Monday and getting out some other stuff Tuesday, Wednesday. The goal for the new year is to get out 4 to 5 videos a week. Yeah, something like that. The 4 shows I'm reviewing: Love and Marriage Huntsville, Married to Medicine, Real Housewives of Potomac, and Sisters. And then either a music review or a book review or a movie review. Yeah, something like that. Because I've been reading a lot of books, and I've been saying I'm going to review them, and then I got some authors of those books that I want to bring in and have some conversations with as well. So I really need to get that cracking in the new year, y'all. But until next time, I will see y'all. What's gonna be next? Sisters. I gotta do a Sisters review next. I'll be doing Sisters probably tomorrow already. Bye, y'all.